hilarious that they asked me to share about this because I really related a lot of what you just said to me diving into this virtual business. And honestly, it's because I spent a lot of time talking with Jennifer Skinner, and I'm like, because I was dragging my feet, and oh, it's the way of the future. And I'm like, whatever. I really don't want to do it. So I finally, well, first I learned I'm really a bad procrastinator, and then I knew that once I started, I would be fine. And so I picked a time frame because I am going to tell you it's going to take a little bit of time on your part to learn how to do this. I'm going to share with you what I learned in a quick boom, 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 boom. But you are going to have to spend a little bit of time. And you're going to have to know that that time is going to pay off in the future. Because if you're going to do it right. And just know that the time you're spending, you may not be getting paid, but you'll get paid later for that. I just went through this with my son. My middle son wants to sell cars now while he's in college. And so he's a born salesman. I don't know where he gets it, but he is. And it was cute because I found myself having this conversation with him, and I said, Lucas, you have to realize I'm going to tell you that sales is like this. And you may have to put a lot of work into something and not get paid yet, but the payoff is going to come later. And that's exactly how I felt about this virtual stuff. So I will tell you before I go into this that I just closed out 2 virtual parties that I felt were very successful. One closed out at 400, one closed out at 500, and one of them I did get another virtual party booking from. I have 3 lined up to go already for next month. And the way that I'm looking at these is icing on the cake for me. There are people that strictly do a virtual business, and that's great for them. And if you want to do that, that's great. I like doing my cooking shows. I like being out there and showing and talking and looking and doing all that stuff. But these are like a glorified catalog party. That's what they are. That is what they are. Okay, so that's why I look at them. Okay, so where to get started? Number 1, set up a virtual party folder on your computer, because as you're studying how to do this, you're going to come across flyers and things that you're going to want to save, and then make them your own. You really want to make them your own. So make sure you're reading through these things you come across, because you're going to find wording in there that you're going to be like, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I wouldn't say it that way. So while it's great that people have, made these already for us and have shared them, please read through them. Because I almost didn't, and at the bottom I saw Crystal had written, I'm in a pilot study. And I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm going to change that real quick. So read through them, make them your own, save them in your virtual party folder. Okay, so infos, flyers, things like that. Also, you're going to want to have a folder for pictures. Now, here's the big deal. For those of you who have already started doing virtual parties or saw the talk going around, we've just had a huge, big problem with pictures and wording and things on Facebook and people getting locked out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally afraid of Facebook jail. I do not want to go there. So I was very freaked out about this.
It's nice there you meet nice people. Easy for you to say.
So let me just tell you that I'm going to give you some tips on how to avoid that, and please heed these warnings because, okay, so here's the deal. I spent 2.5 days making a template that I then had to spend 4 days changing because I got a couple warnings from Facebook and I started having a panic attack like I was going to get locked out. My husband was out of town, my oldest son was out of town. I was communicating with them through Facebook. So I spent another 4 days changing everything. So what you want to do is create your virtual party folder. Here's my tip to you. Have a pictures of cookware folder. Have a pictures of rock folder. Have a games folder. Have it categorize it that way, because now that we're all having to create our own pictures. Do not use the pictures that are already out there, because if you are, everybody in the peanut butter chef world is using them right now, and you are going to get flagged as spam, and you're going to get locked out of Facebook. So you need to take some time. This is why redoing it took me 4 days, because I taught myself how to use pic collage. I feel like a 20-year-old. I'm like, look at me, I did it all by myself. My oldest son, who's usually the one I call upon for technical things, was in Idaho, so I couldn't. So when he came home, I'm like, Jake, wait till you see what I did. And I was showing him. Okay, so my point is, if I can do this, I promise you, you can do it, okay? So there's a lot of different apps. It's a free app. It's called Pic Collage. That's the one I chose. I found it to be very user-friendly. You literally just take some pictures, drag them. You can do this with them. You can put borders on them. You can put wording in there. I'm like, holy cow, this is how people have been doing it is so stinking easy. It truly is. There's PicMonkey. There's a lot of different ones. So choose whichever one you want. But in all this issue with pictures, where we originally were doing folders of July script pictures, August script pictures, September script pictures, that's really not going to work now because you're going to have to create your own template. There will not be templates for you to copy anymore at this point, which is a good thing. Okay, you need to spend the time and create this yourself. It is not hard. It is super simple, and it's actually better when you do it yourself. Okay, so we'll get
Chris,
into
can
that.
I interject just one?
Yes.
Just really quick, I had started using some of the prefab ones for the first few days, and then I got in the jail and met the people, and had to change the password. Anyways, and then I started using my own words, and my best friend was like, Amanda, you changed it. I was like, what do you mean? She says, it sounds like you now.
Exactly.
It didn't sound like me first.
Because we were talking about this when we came in, because when I copied the template that Charlotte had made, and then I had to go back, and I didn't pay much attention because I was just trying to get the template made. When I went back, because I had to change it because of Facebook things, I thought, this is like wording straight from the catalog. This does not sound anything like me. So yeah, it's totally worth creating your own template anyways.
And to know your audience.
Yes. Okay, so decide, number 2, decide whether you want to use SendShare or Post My Party. This is totally just a personal decision. They're both very good. I chose Post My Party, and the reason being is because when I was starting the thought process of how I was going to do this, I went on Donna's director page and asked the opinion of all the directors. And the majority of what I got was Post My Party. So I thought, okay, I'll join Post My Party. Well, not everybody seems to be using SendShare, but that's okay. I really different. Yes, exactly. That's the way I look at it. But I really like Post My Party. They are both basically the same thing. It's $10 a month for either one. Again, you're going to make that back, so not a big deal. With SendShare, you can do a group or event for the party. With Post My Party, you can only do event. I chose to do events anyways. That's my personal opinion because honestly, when people add me to groups, I get so irritated being added to a group. I find it to be very pushy, and in an event, you get invited. I thought I had success with my 2 events so far. I'm going to continue doing events. It's just what I feel comfortable with. So it's total. That's, like I said, personal opinion. SendShare or Post My Party. Check them both out and decide which one you'd like to use. Number 3, study. There is I think it's through Donna's page. Cindy had done a flyer and a training on how to set up a virtual party. So I would encourage you to go and find that and read through it. Now keep in mind that she's walking you through using Charlotte's outline because that's how we all started. But it's still going to be very helpful for you for understanding the pattern of how to set up your first party.